happy song is. It's the Eye of the Tiger. I don't know. But so, yeah, it's Creed week. Obviously, we saw Creed. We're going to talk about that a bit. But hey, welcome to One Tone Entertainment Podcast, number 12, I think. Number 12?
Number 12?
I know. You've been here once or twice. Gonzalo Sundrla, what's going on?
Not much, just living life.
Living the dream, loving life, bodybuilder, hard worker, and like sugar-free Red Bull. So, hey, 2 out of 3 ain't bad. We can take that all day.
Sponsor me, Red Bull.
Yeah, sponsor him, Red Bull. God,
too much money.
Please. Had to look around for the cameras because, one, got to talk to you real quick. All right, quickly, 129 Clips is on YouTube right now, just in case you don't want to watch the whole show, because believe it or not, a lot of people do reach out to me and go, I don't want to listen to the whole hour show, which is fine. I completely understand. You got a busy life. So go ahead, subscribe on YouTube, and then you just listen to the parts you like, because they've been going up as 129 Clips, and I'm pretty proud of them. Also, no swear jar this week. Left it at home. Keep count and then let me know in the comments of the YouTube video, or send me a message on Twitter, because 2018, almost 2019.
More like he ran out of money.
Get up here. Oh yeah, I ran out of money pretty quick last week. I didn't reach $20, but I got pretty close. Also, really quickly, I usually end the show with this. I'm going to start the show with this, but if you want to write into the show or something like that, go to 129ent.com/podcast. You can send us a message. Say, hey, I want to see Sundrla on the podcast more often. I love seeing my Joanne on the podcast, because everybody loves Joanne. It's crazy.
She's the best.
She is the best.
She's the lifeblood of the show.
She really is the lifeblood of the show. I might just give her this show one of these days at this point.
I think so.
Whatever, dude. I don't even care.
Hers.
So, all right, WTF is going on in nerd news this week. I've finally changed the name enough times to where I like it. This one kind of blew my mind. Okay, I guess I'll just go down the list and see what we got. This one kind of blew my mind. Venom surpassed $822 million at the global box office.
Better than Wonder Woman.
Better than Wonder Woman and Sam Raimi's Spider-Man. I don't know if you remember this. Sam Raimi's Spider-Man took the world by storm when it came out.
Yeah. I mean, his was good, but with Venom, I mean, we were introduced to Venom in the Tobey Maguire.
Oh my
series.
God, that awful Spider-Man 3.
The CGI just ensued and everything, horrible.
Absolutely.
And then we get the traditional, the big, bulky Venom that, is just perfect.
I'll be honest, I can't talk because here's the thing. Still haven't seen Venom yet, because I was so convinced this thing was just going to collapse and it would never happen. I didn't think this movie was going to happen, to be completely honest with you. And then we saw that weird little Comic-Con Brazil trailer where Tom Hardy and the director walked out on stage, and it looked like they fit 1 billion people into this tiny little room, and everybody's losing their mind because everybody loves Venom. Oh my God. I just couldn't get into it. I never saw it. Like I said, I'll see it on the back of a Delta Airlines flight, but hey, anyway. So, also, funny story, Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them, Crimes of Grindelwald flopped at the box office. One of the worst performing Thanksgiving movies.
I was not a real fan.
Not going to say I'm right, but I'm right. Just saying.
I saw, it's just
You did see it.
I did see it.
How did you like it?
My first impressions were very confusing, to say the least.
Okay.
Following along, I mean, I watched the first Fantastic Beasts. That one was good, introducing all the mythical creatures and kind of getting a glimpse of how Harry Potter is going to be set up. But other than that, it's just what's going on here? They don't really set up the time frame really well. Is this 20 years before Hogwarts, 100 years?
It's pretty close to about, not necessarily 100 years. It's more like 80 years. It takes place in the 20s. I think when my mom was on, she said it take place in 1920, and it finally wraps up in 1946 or something like that. I'm not totally certain. I'd have to go back. You should go back and watch the show because it's actually really good. There'll probably be a clip up by then of our Fantastic Beasts conversation if you want to watch it on YouTube. But I mean, my biggest issue was that there was no redeemable plot. There was no beginning, middle, or end. It wasn't that funny. I really enjoyed the Beasts. I really enjoyed Jude Law's Dumbledore, and I enjoyed all the little tiny Harry Potter spikes of lore in there. But it's just not enough to keep me involved in the whole movie. Maybe we're not going to get 1 billion of these. We might only get 6 more. So hey, not bad. I'll take only 6 more if that's what it needs to be.
I think 1, 2 tops.
I could take, here's the thing. I was hoping this is a trilogy. Okay, awesome. It's a trilogy. The war is going to be in the 3rd movie. We're done. Move on. There's more Harry Potter you can do elsewhere. Maybe the Fantastic Beasts isn't what people want to see. Fine. Let's move on. But Also, did you see this? The New York Times claimed that Red Dead Redemption 2 is the blockbuster of the season, not only in video games, but in all forms of media. That means it beats Creed 2, it beats Fantastic Beasts, it beats anything on Netflix, which Netflix sucks anyway. It beats everything, which, yes, it was an opinion piece. I kind of skimmed through it. I didn't read the whole article because it was kind of just a love affair with Red Dead Redemption 2. But that being said, I love Red Dead Redemption 2. I thought this is my favorite game of all time. It beat out God of War for me because I'm still playing it for God's sakes. Like, I can't put it down. I started up my second playthrough. I'm loving it. I cannot put this game down. And we have the Red Dead Redemption 2 online beta starting this week. So have you played it yet? You haven't played it yet?
Nope. I'm going to get it as soon as Christmas break hits.
Christmas break, you are going to grind that game. We're going to get the posse going. It's so much fun. But yeah, I won't stick on that too much. We talked about
Put my credit card on it real quick, level up.
Just list the numbers on the show. We'll throw it at the bottom of the screen. Anyway, Fallout 76 with a Metacritic score of 49 on Xbox One. Can't say I didn't see this coming. Like, this isn't what we wanted in a Fallout game. I don't know. Were you following this at all?
Well, I've never been a Fallout person.
Yeah.
But like from what I've heard about Fallout 76, it's like one of their worst.
Yeah. I mean, I just don't think anybody was asking for it, honestly. Like, I think people were intrigued by the idea of sharing a Fallout world with other people. But that being said, this just isn't what we were looking for. I mean, I'm not that big of a Fallout guy. I really tried to be when it came to Fallout 4. Yeah, Fallout 4 was the last one to come out. I really wanted to be a Fallout fan, but it just didn't click for me. I'm just not that big. I don't like the degenerate apocalyptic style they got going on.
I've never played it. I've never owned one. It's not for me.
Me and Parsons were in pretty much agreement when we talked about it too. It's just can't really do it. But yeah, so Fallout 76 sales were down 82% from Fallout 4, which Fallout 4, if I remember correctly, did perform pretty well.
That's according to UK Fallout 4.
Oh yeah, why?
Like I remember seeing everyone on my friends list when it came out, like Fallout 4, Fallout 4. It's just like, yeah, I'll pass.
I think anytime a Bethesda game to that scale comes out, one of their main two franchises, whether it be Elder Scrolls or Fallout, people are going to play it, people are going to try it, and people will either love it or they will hate it. And it's pretty obvious people hate this game. I mean, it's getting dragged through the mud right now. Nobody likes it. I think this is definitely going to be a Rainbow Six style. Come back in a year and see what this game is. I really think that this game can turn it around. I think Bethesda is going to put a lot of time and money into making this into the Fallout vision they had. I don't think this game is very good now. That being said, I think it can be maybe a year down the line once they start throwing out some major patches, start throwing out some free DLC. Don't try and sell us on anything when people aren't even happy with the $60 they put down anyway. But I think at the end of the day, they'll figure it out. I'm not worried about it. I really do think they're going to turn it around.
They needed the cherry on top.
They really did. Yeah. They need to give it that one thing that keeps people coming back. And I think they don't have a story. And that's kind of what people like about Fallout. But whatever. You and I aren't really that big of Fallout fans. First of all, holy crap. PlayStation dropped out of E3 next year. Did you see that?
I did. And it's such, I don't know why.
So I got two outcomes from this. It means one, people are going to start dropping out of E3 like flies, and then E3 is going to become obsolete at one point. I do think that might be the best business decision because that means they control their announcements. They're not being overshadowed by PlayStation dropping their third-party lineup or Nintendo having a direct or Xbox doing whatever the heck they do or whatever. God forbid Rockstar puts out something that day and just blows everybody out of the water. So I think E3 in a business sense should start moving to be more obsolete, as much as it pains me to say, because I love E3 season, but I just can't see how they wouldn't want to just get away from it all. They want to have their own thing. I think EA is going to be the next one to drop out, in my opinion. I know a lot of people have already said that they're going to be coming back. I know Xbox kind of had like a throw shade tweet. Whatever. Don't try to act pretty. Fix your shit and then come back and talk to me, Xbox. Whatever. And then the other thing I thought was this. The other possible outcome is this is one of the not first, but many stones of Xbox is pulling out of PlayStation to take over the next generation.
Yeah, I can see that happening.
Like Xbox has just made or Microsoft, I should say, has made every right decision since I would say like 2016. Other than their first party lineup, third party lineup, I get that mixed up. Other than their exclusive games, they have done every single thing right. They've fixed the UI. They did the accessible controller, which is awesome.
Yep.
They've started releasing more skins for controllers. Xbox One X is a massive success. It's not far more, but it's more powerful than the PlayStation 4 Pro. And
for sure.
I don't know how it's selling yet because Microsoft doesn't release those numbers, but I think it's doing pretty well. And I love my Xbox One X. The thing's whisper quiet and it runs things like nothing. It's butter. It's amazing. I just think Xbox is setting itself up to really take over next generation. I didn't even talk about the independent studios they've been picking up lately. Have you seen that?
I have.
Like, are you kidding me? They're backloading for a massive next generation for the amount of studios they picked up. I think they're at 6 now is the thing.
Yeah, they're stacking themselves up.
Yeah, I'm so excited to see what Xbox has.
Like their 5-year plan or 10-year plan, it's going to be insane.
Like, I'm willing to take it in the teeth right now. I'm an Xbox guy through and through. I will always defend Xbox. That being said, I love what PlayStation is doing. I love what Nintendo is doing. All right, I'm a video game fan, but I think Xbox is really going to come out swinging next generation. I don't think Sony's ready for it. I really don't think so.
I mean, if, just looking at the 4K resolution and everything on the Xbox One, it's just, I mean, it's hard to top, but they're going to top themselves. And
I love it.
With that, it's just going to be insane.
4K 60's coming, 4K 60 HDR with the TV. I think that's going to be the next big step for the next generation. Hopefully we're there. I don't know yet. I don't know what the PC guys are doing. That's kind of what you got to look at and see what they're doing. You never know.
You might get a Xbox PC hybrid.
Have you seen that for Xbox, they want to get rid of the disc tray and then sell a cheaper Xbox? So instead of like a $200 Xbox on sale, they'll sell without the disc tray and only downloadable games for like $150 or something like that.
That wouldn't be that bad.
Are you kidding me? That would be amazing, especially in the Western civilization over there in California and stuff like that, where they got crazy fast Wi-Fi. Are you kidding me?
Oh, for sure, yeah.
I think would sell bonkers. I think that's an awesome step for Xbox.
And they would be able to get out faster, increase the hard drive space. I mean,
if that thing's true, which apparently with their new, it's not Scorpio. It's like, I don't know what the name, I forgot the code name. It's like Crimson or something weird like that. The project name for the next Xbox, but apparently there's 2 of them. There's one that's going to be a traditional system. And then there's one that's going to be without the disc tray. And I'm going to be completely honest with you. I would totally go without the disc tray. Like
I would too.
The second my Wi-Fi situation goes crazy, sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off, but the second my Wi-Fi situation gets in shape, oh man.
I mean, that might be another year, but hey, who knows?
In other news, spending on video games reached $1.2 billion in October, highest for the month since the NPD began tracking. Video games are going gangbusters. Obviously, Red Dead Redemption 2 has a huge hand to play with that. I have not kept track on how much money it's made. It's made well over $1 billion already. I mean, it's Rockstar, dude. I've given up on trying to give them praise. They know what they're doing. They do it better than anybody else.
I mean, video games in general is just like most of them average $60 for the game. And then if you get the season pass or something, like for Call of Duty, let's say, right?
Exactly.
That's going to be more money. Skins, more money. Using the black market to get loot, more money. I mean, everything they're doing costs more and more money. So it's just like you buy the game once and it kind of forces you to continue to buy and buy and buy and buy.
Video games, I mean, what a time to be a fan of video games. I started saying that at E3 this year, and I keep on saying it, but it seems like the times just keep getting better and better and better. And that's the awesome thing about video games. Because there's so much in the market, there's always something you're going to love, and there's something you're going to wrap your hands around and just absolutely eat up. And I don't think you can say the same for like Netflix or movies. I mean, with the amount of just awesome games that are coming out nowadays, there's always something for you to play, and I think that's goes right hand in hand with what video games.
Even so, lately. Like, you know, you can get a sandbox game and do what you want. I mean, and there's so many programs and editor systems that you can make your own game now. Too. So it's just like it's up to your imagination, and you can make any game you want. I
love it. I love when an indie success game comes out like that. I know I'll be scrolling through YouTube, and of course, another battle royale is just taking the world by storm. Not by storm like Fortnite wise, but like people are starting to stream it, people are starting to play it, and that's made by an indie studio. And I think some of those games are made by like 12 people, and now they're making gangbusters, and they're going to be coming out with something they're just going to keep supporting that game going forward.
For sure, yeah.
I love it. I just love seeing especially the smaller titles get so much success. I think Celeste was a really good example of that. That was on Switch. I don't know if you probably didn't play that one.
No, but
Celeste is definitely on the game of the year list for a lot of people. It's going to be, it was a side scrolling platformer, really good story, had an awesome story, I should say. It kind of battled like with depression and like going over that mountain. That's really what the game was. It was like going up a mountain. It kind of was symbolism for a depression. I thought it was an awesome game. I'm not a big side scroller guy, but I had a great time with it.
Let's see, with video games too, in general, like the makers listen to the audience. Like,
oh yeah, man.
Like, look at Black Ops 4. No campaign because people want the blackout mode, because Battle Royale, that's what's huge right now. People want the competitive multiplayer. And then everyone loves zombies. And it's just like campaign, a lot of it had to do with, how fast can we beat it on the hardest mode and find like little cutscenes and whatnot. And I mean, it's just like as soon as a game gets released, like less than 24 hours, you can watch the entire cutscene of the campaign and know what happens.
Yeah, I think first-person shooting campaigns have kind of lost its luster ever since, I think, Modern Warfare. I guess the Black Ops 2 campaign was all right.
But it's just like, same thing with like Call of Duty. Like people wanted to play Modern Warfare 3 again. So what did they do? They gave it back to us. Like they listen
Xbox,
to their
Xbox.
They listen to their audience, unlike where you have like say Netflix, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you have whatever show you want, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it's just like the fans keep on saying, no, don't cancel it. Like do another season or like end it here. Like this is perfect, right? But they don't listen. And usually that ends up ruining the series for a lot of people.
I completely agree. And going back to Xbox doing the good work of God, as they say, Games Pass. Are you kidding me? That's the future right there. Games Pass is the future. Every single Xbox developed game, Microsoft developed game, day and date on Xbox game, on Game Pass. Are you kidding me right now? Forza Horizon 4, the new Halo whenever it comes out.
Yeah.
Oh my god!
When it comes out,
my god! Yeah, whenever that gets around and coming out. Halo
next century.
5, 6. What's it called? Halo Infinity, something weird like that.
Yeah, I think it's.
I haven't seen it enough. I can't talk about it. All right, so we are here to talk about one of the best movies of 2018, baby. Creed 2 came out. It was not as good as the first Creed, I'll be honest. Not as good as the first
It's still very
Creed.
electrifying.
Amazing. I was gripping my seat. I'm losing it. Whenever there's a boxing scene, people are treating it just like a sporting event. Everybody's shouting at the screen, go, get his ass! Get his ass, boo-boo! Get him right now!
See, I had a very tamed movie theater. Like, everyone was, like, super quiet. It's just, like, it's very, like, they were on the edge of their seats, but that's about it.
My theater was treating it like they were watching an HBO special, man. They were losing it. Everybody's clapping. They're like, get him, Daddy! Get him! They're losing their mind. People were clapping and stuff whenever you like getting like a really good punch in. And let me tell you what, when they got those good punches in, you knew it. Man, I didn't think boxing movies could continue to capture an audience like Creed has. I don't think a lot of boxing movies have done that, by the way. I think Creed has, one of the Rocky franchise, whatever you want to say. But the way they shoot these movies, they shoot them kind of like HBO, but they also go back and they shoot it in really interesting angles. They show both the human side and the sports side of it. I think that's awesome. But I'm gonna be honest, like this was a really good story overall. I think that's kind of important.
I really loved how like you start off with the first Rocky movie, right? Okay, you got this guy, Rocky, pretty much of a bum, not a real good boxer, right? He's a glutton for punishment. He can take hit after hit, right? But he's pretty raw.
Oh, he was totally raw.
And then it gets to a point where he wants to be trained more, but it doesn't really go his way. So then Apollo, he's in Philadelphia. He wants to do his match, but then his opponent can't do it last minute. So he just scrolls through a book and, Italian Stallion.
Oh, that's a good name, by the way.
Yeah.
Real good name. You can't beat that.
I mean, Southpaw, that's why he chose him, right? Kind of do the Italian Stallion versus Apollo Creed, the American champion, I guess you could say. And it's one of those things like he wasn't ready for it, Rocky, at all. But then, he did that hard training where he kind of refined that rawness. And then from there, that's when the series really started to evolve into like he got progressively better, like he got stronger, he got faster, his technique got better until he himself became the best. And then it's kind of like the struggle to stay at the top. And then from 1, 2, 3, all the way to 4, which is my all-time favorite Rocky movie, is when he goes against the Russian, Ivan Drago.
My God, let me tell you what. When I saw the trailer for this movie, I was like, really? He's going to fight the kid of the guy? Well, I'm like, all right, that's a bit of a stretch, but fine. Did I think it was going to get pulled off as well as it did in this movie? Absolutely not. They actually developed the character. Thank God we got a villain that actually also had an emotional side to him. We saw,
Human.
oh my God, they were actually human. What? I thought that was amazing.
I mean, compare it. So, because obviously this is sort of like, yes, Creed, the first Creed kind of sets up for Creed 2, but if you look at it, it looks more like, okay, Rocky 4, Creed 2.
Right.
Because it's like a kind of like a continuation story,
right,
like revenge. So if you look at it in Rocky 4, right, you have Ivan Drago, pretty emotionless, like monster of a man, right? You like just a beast all the way around. And then it's just like, spoiler if you haven't seen it, but
Rocky 4? Okay, yeah, that's fine.
Yeah, I mean, but if you haven't seen it, that's your own fault. But you know, he kills Apollo in the exhibition match, right?
That was in Creed 1, man. Who cares?
Well, yeah, but still. It was more emotional, okay?
All right, it was so emotional. And let me tell you what, I didn't think I would care that much about what was his name? Apollo Creed. But they kind of made me care about him in this movie. Not really that much. I never saw the Rocky movies. I watched the fight between Rocky and Drago in Rocky 4 on YouTube one night. And first of all, they threw around punches like it was nobody's business in the 80s. I had no idea there were that many punches. I'm like, okay, somebody's got to be dead by now. Like, what are we doing here? Somebody's got to get like killed after one of these punches.
Well, fun fact, and don't quote unquote me, but I remember reading on an article or something that Stallone actually had I forget what his name is that plays Ivan Drago.
Oh, Lundgren.
It escapes my mind right now, but he actually had him punch him, right?
Oh man,
like for real. Like
I know what you're talking about.
And I believe it puts a Stallone in like a coma for a couple days or something like that.
Some crazy story like that was almost like folklore, and it like put him like I think he got sent to the ER or some crazy.
Yeah, like they had to like cancel production for a few days because like it really messed him up. So it's just like, you know, yes, they're not going full on, like, you know, there might be some contact. A lot of it's like, oh, they're going for like a jab or something. They kick back their head a little bit. I mean, like the first and second Rocky, you can really see it. Like they overemphasize it's like, oh
man, Rocky 4, they were overemphasizing. It was a WWE match. I'm like,
I mean, they had a actual WWE match in Rocky, but
really?
Yeah, it was Hulk Hogan.
Oh, I guess I really should go back and watch it.
I think it was Hulk Hogan.
Man, Hulk Hogan. But yeah, going back on that, have you seen that Michael B. Jordan has been like challenging dudes to box?
I have not.
It was like Roy Jones or somebody like that, like a legitimate, like a boxer, like a badass.
I think that's more just for like promotional and like for fun, because it's just like I was watching on YouTube, like you know those like the answers, some of the tweets and Reddit posts and Instagram tags and stuff like that.
Man, that used to be funny, and then it got used by everybody. Now,
well, he was answering one, and
first fuck of the day.
That's $1, Parker.
Whatever.
But no, he was answering one, and he was like, why don't you go to professional like boxing or something? Like, you've done all the training, you're in great shape. And he's just like, I'm an actor. It's just acting. I stick with what I'm good with.
Yeah.
It's just like, so I don't see him like actually going to like real boxing. I mean, if it's like what you're saying, like, you know, he's actually challenging people, it's probably going to be like a sparring match at best, like get a feel for it.
Here's the thing. I'm not going out and challenging Conor McGregor anytime soon. So I just don't I think you got to be a little
But you didn't just release one of the greatest movies of 2018.
Conor McGregor?
No, like Michael B. Jordan.
MBJ, yeah. MBJ. Man, he's having a hell of a year, by the way. 2 outstanding movies. One of them, I don't think Creed 2 is going to be Oscar nominated like Creed 1 was, because Creed 1 was such a character story compared. This was more of a hero versus villain story. I think Creed 1 was like almost like game
Well, this is also like his true like being a champion, like
right?
Being the world heavyweight champion.
Man, he got messed up by Drago a couple times.
Yeah, see, but that makes me wonder because when he goes down, right? And then Drago's son keeps hitting him when he's down.
Yeah,
that was like the blow that really like took him out of it.
Oh man, yeah.
But I wondered, like, say, he actually listened to the ref and it's like he didn't hit him, right? Would the match have gone on longer, and would he have possibly ended up like his father?
I think if he gets punched in that situation, ref doesn't see it, like they're in Russia or some weird crap like that, and he goes down. I think he's out for the count anyway. But then the second that 10 count hits, somebody's in the ring and they're reviving that guy's ass. Okay, because he was on the verge of death for a minute there.
Yeah, I mean, he suffered
liver.
No, he suffered. It was his kidney. It was
kidney. He popped it. He popped his kidney with his rib. Supposedly his rib came in and popped his kidney, cracked a couple ribs, which, okay, first of all, you crack a rib, that freaking hurts. All right, I don't care what anybody says. Everyone's like, he's not actually taking the hit. Still, you crack a rib, that freaking hurts. But I think just when he got the crap kicked out of him a couple times, by the way.
And then he had like a cranial fracture or something.
Yeah, some weird crap like that. He's got CTE, whatever. I mean, it's a combat sport. You're going to have CTE. I think that's kind of something you just assume when, like, that's head trauma, okay? Like, we know that's going to happen, but whatever, man.
I mean, I still don't think it was like they did it as bad as when it was Apollo versus Rocky, and like when Rocky broke Apollo's ribs and they both ended up in the hospital.
Oh, I didn't know that. Yeah, you're the Rocky historian here, man. I didn't
Dude, I've seen the Rocky movies so many times over. Like, it's one of my favorite all-time series. I can watch it and never get bored of it.
I started watching Rocky 1, and it's kind of dated for me. So if it's not the fight, or the training montage, which, holy crap, that training montage was so goddamn good. When he goes to the desert, are you kidding me right now?
Well, it goes back to like kind of Rocky's roots too, where it's just like hard, good old-fashioned blunt force work.
Are you kidding me? That desert scene. When I saw it in the trailer, I knew I was going to love it, and it paid off in the movie. And wow. Yeah. I don't know, man. If you haven't seen Creed 2, what are you doing?
Spoilers.
Yeah, spoilers for Creed 2. Not really. But I think so this is one of my issues I have with it. And this is one of my issues going forward with a lot of movies. They kind of portrayed pretty much what's going to happen in this movie in the trailer.
I mean, obviously, in like looking at the trailer, okay, you kind of get the setup from Rocky 4. It's just like, okay, you know what happened? It's like Rocky versus the Russian. Now it's again going to be like, oh, hey, the Russian killed my father. I want revenge. So I'm going to like fight his son and I'm going to beat him. And then it's just like kind of the fall and then the climb back up.
Yeah. I mean,
in his first fight, he was not prepared at all. Like,
he got messed up in that first fight, which I think it was kind of interesting how they showed that like his mind was out of it, and I'm like, okay, that makes sense.
He was too fixated on like the fact that like he was too fixated on his father that he couldn't focus on the fight in front of him. Because like the first fight, like if he actually trained like normally, I would even say, because he's obviously fought other champions and stuff, so it's just
pretty
like,
Ricky Conley.
Yeah,
that one fat guy that they said was really athletic. Yeah.
So I mean, he's still in shape. I mean, it's not like it was like an out of shape Creed fighting the Russian or anything. It's just like, it's still like him in his prime against another guy in his prime. Given Drago, I mean, he was jacked. Like the guy
that guy was more jacked than MBJ, by the way. Like, I don't think that guy gets his due. That guy was hung. Are you kidding me right now? Does that mean jacked? Or hung mean jacked?
Not really.
I thought it meant big dick. Never mind.
That's what hung means.
All right, never mind. So, that guy was jacked and maybe hung, depending on the definition. That guy's freaking not huge, but that guy had so much freaking muscle on him. I do think he looked better than MBJ, by the way.
His conditioning was just
wow.
They had him really conditioned for the movie.
They took every single steroid they could get their hands on, and it paid off. Good for them. They must have been time bombs on the set. They were just like, give me more steroids. That's horrible, but no, I don't know where I was going with that. Anyway, but yeah, I want to go back to what I was saying, though. So my issue was when they were kind of showing everything in the trailer. I think one of the few movies I could say that's like actually figured it out was like when Infinity War filmed a ton of scenes that didn't go in the movie, but they put it in the trailer. Now, I don't want to be a beggar / chooser here, but why can't more movies do that? I guess is what I'm saying. Like, why can't I get somebody who goes and say, hey, let's throw a couple garbage scenes in here. This is just going to go in the trailer. Or there obviously there's a ton of scenes that don't get used. Throw them in the trailer. By the way, I saw Wreck-It Ralph 2, and the funniest scene in the entire movie, which you might probably know what it is. But the funny scene in the whole movie where they're doing the flicking the app, have you seen the trailer for it?
Yes.
So, when Ralph and what's her name break into the app that the girl's playing in the car.
Oh yeah, with the bunny.
It was like cheeseburger and pancakes or whatever. And it was just so stupid and hilarious when the freaking bunny blows up. You got to see the trailer, honestly. You're not going to know what the hell I'm talking about if you don't see the trailer. But it wasn't in the movie. And in the very post-credit scene was, Mom, I really didn't they're on their way back from the movie. That didn't make any sense. But the mom and the daughter are on their way back from the movie, right? And they're like, how'd you like the movie, sweetie? And the girl was like, well, there was a scene that was in the trailer, but wasn't in the movie, and it really bothered me. And that was the post-credit scene. And they showed the actual scene from the trailer. I was laughing so damn hard. Whatever. I just rambled on for forever there. But yeah, seriously though, why don't we just film a ton of scenes that don't go into movies?
Well, you also have to take into consideration not everyone has a Marvel budget.
No, I don't think. But how many scenes don't go used is what I'm saying.
That's a good question.
How many deleted scenes are there? Per movie? It's easily 5 or 6. That's what? 25 minutes of footage. How long is the trailer? 3 minutes? Okay. Pull some stuff from the deleted scenes, throw them in the trailer. Maybe not show Creed laid out over a bed, basically dead. Because that kind of threw away a good second act of the movie. Didn't really know what was going to go on there, but that's all I'm saying.
But at the same time, you got to take into consideration. So Creed is its own separate kind of exception because it's already had a movie before it.
Right.
So it already has a setup, and then it already has, a different character, but it already has its prelude to it already filmed and it's been out for years. So it's just people know okay, he's going to be he's a champ. It's when Rocky fights Clubber Lang, right?
Okay. Yeah.
It's
it's Rocky.
Yeah, it's one of those things he's a champ. He fights someone, he got too cocky. Mm-hmm. He gets knocked down a peg, recovers, trains really hard, comes back, beats them, right?
Yeah, I get that.
I mean, similar case. It's just you watch it not for not knowing what's going to happen. You watch it knowing what will probably happen, but you watch it because it's kind of that development of the series.
Yeah, I guess my biggest issue with this movie in general, and a lot of other movies, I guess you could say, was I knew what was going to happen in Act 1. I knew what was going to happen in Act 2. Mm-hmm. I pretty much knew what was going to happen in Act 3. And it was not to say that I didn't see everything that came at you, but I did pretty much know what was coming. And that was one of my issues with this movie and a lot of other movies. I can't really think of it off the top of my head. I guess Wreck-It Ralph 2 is a good example of it.
I haven't seen it.
You should see it, by the way. If you haven't seen Wreck-It Ralph 2, we can talk about that in a minute. Hilarious, okay? Swear to God. My mom didn't like it. I loved it, okay? I walked out of the movie saying that's a top 5 movie of the year. That's how much I like that movie. I kid you not, I was bent over laughing with all the kids in my theater. The kids were laughing and Parker was laughing. That was it, all right? Crazy. But I don't know, man. I don't like trailers, I guess. I guess that's where I'm at. When Star Wars Episode 9 trailer comes out, sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off, but when that trailer comes out, it's going to show way too much. I think that's what my issue is.
That's the hard part because it's just you want to give people a glimpse of what's going to happen. So it's just they know is okay. Think of it like a beta for a game.
Yeah.
You want to give the people enough that they can make a decision to go see it, but still not give everything away. And there's a fine line that you have to be in that, not a lot of people have mastered. It's just one of those things you could use deleted scenes, but I mean, they're deleted for a reason, right?
Yes and no. I don't think a beta is a good example, only because games don't really show much of their story in trailers. I mean, just going back to Red Dead, because that's fresh in my head. They showed a couple scenes from the trailer, and there's a couple of things I'm like, oh, that was in the trailer. Whatever. But I didn't know what was going to happen in the story. And I guess that goes to show everybody knows what Red Dead is. Everybody's going to buy Red Dead one way or another, no matter what the trailer says. I think Avengers is a good example. I think Star Wars is a good example. There's a lot of other movies that I think you could say are good examples of, I'm going to go see this regardless. So let's just tone back the trailers. Let's tone back the marketing department. Let's not get so crazy with this. Let's just, show them the bare minimum. Show them act 1. Okay. Let's show them act 1. Save the rest of it for later. Don't prelude to anything. Okay. Just let it go.
It's also about building up suspense. I mean,
yeah, I guess you're right. I don't know. I don't know what the best.
Because you want to know why Creed is knocked over.
Yeah.
You can infer that, okay, it's probably Drago that did it. Yeah. But you're still going to go see and see why is he hurt? Why is he in the bed? Right?
Yeah, I guess. I don't know. I feel like I'm just throwing out a lot of problems and no solutions right now. But
well, here, I'll give you something. One thing I wanted to see in Creed, Rocky versus Ivan.
They punch each other in the face or something.
Yeah, just like when they both step in that ring or something. Yeah. Even if it was they just come at each other and they get stopped right away. Just some sort of confrontation. Or even when they're in the diner or something. Yeah, they
stand up and look at each other
they just square up real quick and the fists tense up and then his son comes in and it's just that's the end of it. Something.
The son would have messed him up though. I'll tell you what. Although Sylvester Stallone hung/jacked, he was huge. He's huge.
I mean, if you look at him now, he's old, but he's still in really good
hits
shape.
The gym hard, real hard.
Yeah, I mean, it was after Rocky 4. I don't know what you would call it, but it's like a, I don't know. You probably haven't seen it, but
steroids.
No, you can call it Rocky 5 or whatever you want to call it.
Oh, that other Rocky movie.
Yeah, where
he trains his son or something like that, doesn't he?
He's older. No, his son and him have disconnected. Oh. They're no longer talking terms, and then it's just he's watching TV, and it's the current heavyweight champion. He's never really had he's always had a knockout within the first 3 rounds or something like that. He's supposed to be really good, and it's a fight simulator where it's Rocky in his prime versus the current champ, and everyone's polling and everything says that Rocky would win, right?
Duh.
So it's one of those things where it's just he goes trains again, and it's just in the old fashioned hardcore weightlifting and then some running and stuff. Because I mean, he's playing the part of old man, right?
Yeah, I get that.
So he goes and he fights the champion, and it's an exhibition match, right? So it's not supposed to be a super serious thing where they're out for blood, but I mean, it shows he was able to still go the distance. And I think it was he only lost because it was a split decision vote.
Oh, okay.
In favor of the champ, because why would you give the exhibition match to the challenger? I guess.
Yeah, I guess
that's never going to compete again. So
yeah. Well,
but I mean, Stallone is he's in phenomenal shape.
Hung/jacked. Tell you what, he's a big boy. I don't know. Creed 2, go see it. Really good. I enjoyed it. He enjoyed it.
I love it.
Everyone else I've talked to has really enjoyed it. Arturo enjoyed it, by the way.
Oh,
Arturo was a big fan.
Should have had him on here.
I know. I should have had him come on. He actually said, hey, can I come talk about it? Anyway, so I was pondering, and this is what I was pondering about. I've kind of been big on the Overwatch train lately. Okay, so I got into Overwatch. Shout out to Tommy. Tommy got me into Overwatch.
Sad day.
I don't know. Here's the thing. But one of the big things about Overwatch right now is the Overwatch League, right? I think they're not the only, I guess one of the few examples of people who are doing esports well. And this is kind of what I wanted to talk about. What is going on with esports, and why isn't it honestly bigger? That's the thing that kind of just boggles my mind when I think about it. Here we are with Overwatch doing it right. It's based by city, okay? Mm-hmm. You pick the closest city, or you pick a city you really like. I don't know, you like LA? Go out to the dumpster fire and pick LA. You like Dallas? Go support Dallas. Or you like whatever's in China? I'm sorry. I don't know the Overwatch League names, but yeah, go support that. And then we go look at these games like PUBG and Fortnite, who you can't do that because it's not team-based, okay? Mm-hmm. It's Battle Royale. And if you want to watch Fortnite competitively, you go watch on Twitch, okay? That's the central hub for watching not professional, I guess. Whatever. You watch the best of the best, okay? You go watch Ninja, you go watch Shroud, you go watch any other streamer. Sure, you go watch any other streamer that's good. And I guess what I can't seem to figure out for the life of me is how come more people aren't doing it like Overwatch League, which is the closest I've seen to being the superior esports franchise. You know what I'm saying?
Well,
I know, right? It's like a big question because it's like
it's hard because like, okay, I'm most familiar with the competitive side of Call of Duty, right?
Right.
So like in Call of Duty, you know, you make your teams, like you have Optic, you have Envy, FaZe. I mean, the list goes on and on, right?
But that's one of my issues with it. I don't care about Optic. I don't care about FaZe. I don't care about any of those people. I don't care about any of the people that are on the team. But if you throw Dallas in front of it, Dallas Fade, or, you know, Chicago Optic, okay, at least now I have something to get attached to, and I'm going to start growing more and more attached with it. I think that's what Overwatch is doing it well. And it's so professionally
They're
done.
putting a name on it. I mean, it's a similar concept. Like, you know, like Optic, okay? You know who Optic is. Like, if you're a big Call of Duty fan, like, you follow Optic and you know that they're like known for their competitive playing.
Right.
And usually, like, they come on top of a lot of tournaments and whatnot, right? Like FaZe, they're known for sniping. They're known for trick shotting and stuff like that. It's just one of those things, like with Overwatch, it's like you have what, 5 players?
Yeah, 5
on
or
a
6.
team?
5 or 6. Yeah.
5 or 6 players. You pick them, and then that's who your player is, and then whatever.
Hero shooter. It's just a hero shooter, honestly. It's like Rainbow.
Yeah. So it's one of those things where it's just like, because you have limited amount of players, it's easier to pick the like who's the best in this city and then put that name of the city in front of whatever their team name is.
Yes.
Now it's like a name brand, right? So like people from that city that like Overwatch can root for them and stuff. But at the same time, like you can still do that with like other esports like Optic. Like, you know, if you follow along, you know who's in Optic, you know who's the main roster.
Yeah, don't worry about that one.
It's gonna blow up. But you know who's on it and you can follow along. Overwatch, because it is a hero shooter like Rainbow Six, has an easier time because you only have so many slots to fill.
Okay.
So it's just like you hold, say, like a massive tournament, right?
Which I think that's what Overwatch did. They did like tryouts. Like legit. They go, this is the game mode. If you want to try out for the Overwatch League, come play this game mode. And the best ones are probably going to get selected. And obviously, there's a lot of logistics that goes into that. But like, I think that's what they did.
I know. You can have it tournament style. You can have it like point based. You play so many games. 1 kill is so many points. 1 victory, so many points. Like, you can do it like that. That's kind of how they do it in Fortnite, right?
Right. How do they do it in Fortnite, by the way? I seriously don't know.
It's
not team-based, is it?
No, the teams get like rotated periodically. But what
is it solo or is it like, I guess that's what I don't understand.
So like from what I've seen, it's been squads, duos. Okay. It depends on the tournament, but it's like the summer skirmish, winter skirmish, and stuff like that. It's like you get so many kills, it's there's a set amount of points for it. You get a victory royale, you get a set amount of points, and at the end, whoever holds the most amount of points gets like first place, second place, third place, and so on and so forth.
Okay, that makes sense.
But like,
is it just a lot of games then?
Pretty much. You got to kill and win a lot of games to be good.
Makes sense.
But remember, you're also playing a lot against good players. So it's not like it's easier said than done. But on top of that, to qualify, because, you know, it's the tournaments aren't just like, oh, here's all the popular Twitch streamers, we're going to put them. What I have noticed is they don't always incorporate those popular Twitch streamers, right?
Thank God,
they rotate it out because, like, you don't want just like Tfue or Ninja just winning tournament after tournament after tournament after tournament. Like, that's no fun, right?
Right, yeah.
So I've noticed they rotate them, and on top of that, like, you know, you have like those summer skirmishes or like the showdowns, right? You remember playing those, don't you?
Yeah.
So like you play those, and again, that's point based. Like, you get so many points and you level up score wise and stuff, and then you can qualify for those tournaments. But because streamers play for like 12 hours a day, I mean, and they're pretty good, most of them are the ones that qualify.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, I get,
That's my understanding.
Battle Royale is an interesting one. I don't think Battle Royale can go forward as a esports. I think it's best on Twitch, where you watch one person and that's the person I watch. That's all I care about. I watch Shroud play Blackout all the time. I love it. That's all I would ever want to do. I would never want to watch like a tournament of, you know what I mean?
A Battle Royale is very hard to do because there's so many variables. Like,
100 players? You kidding me? No.
Yeah, like, okay, because it's not fair for everyone. Like, someone might have 1,000 wood, 1,000 metal, 1,000 brick, right? And like have all gold guns, have like 3 rocket launchers, right? And another person might just have a great pistol. Like, so it's not really fair because it's a lot of luck loot basing. So with like Call of Duty, like, okay, you got your loadout, you pick your gun that best suits your playstyle. Like, hey, you're a great sniper, you're going to snipe or use a DMR. If you're a running gun, just go trade for 1 kill, and then your team takes over. You know, you're going to run a sub or something. So it's easier to do competitive in that, and then it's even easier to do competitive with a hero shooter game like Rainbow or with Overwatch, because everything's already set out and laid. Like, you got your hero abilities that you can't change.
Right.
So you can counter them. You kind of know, like, okay, someone's going to run a healer, someone's going to run a tank, someone's going to run a support. So it's same thing with League, right?
Yeah.
Like, you have so many characters, but then there's so many counters. So it's more. Man.
League is crazy, by the way. So much money in League.
I can't.
So much money in League. I love how Fortnite's getting all this great praise. Obviously, we love it. You and I both love it. But League of Legends has been running the game for a long time.
League.
Like, I don't know too much about it. I don't know too much about like the gameplay of it. But I know that place or that game is just insane. And it's worldwide too. Like, this is not like a United States thing. This is worldwide. Okay.
I would say it's less popular in the United States. To be honest.
Think so. I think over China, crazy.
Yeah. Like a lot of the like other European
Far East
countries and stuff. Yeah. It's very popular there. But
I think they're the best players too, by the way.
Yeah, I believe so.
They're just better than us. Like, nothing we can do about it, honestly. Like,
but no, League is its own. It's its own animal.
It's so cool.
It's its own different animal, because it's one of those things like you just don't pick a random character and you just don't go out and it's like, oh, am I going to run top lane? Am I going to run mid lane, bot lane, or am I going to play jungle? Right. I played a little League, so I know a little.
Whoa!
I was trash. Okay, if you really want an expert, ask Kendrick.
I get him in here. Do you think hero shooters is like the way of team-based multiplayer going forward? You know what I'm saying? Like Call of Duty switched to it. Overwatch is obviously hero-based. Rainbow is a hero-based. I mean, could Halo go hero-based? I mean, they were kind of that way with squad abilities for a little while, but it's not so much. Halo's more of that power weapon style. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. And I mean, with Halo 2, like, you get, like, there's so much luck based. I feel like in Halo.
I don't know. Have you played with Parsons?
Okay,
he's not lucky. He just kicks ass.
Hacks.
No, he doesn't.
Cheats or something. Like,
he kicks ass.
He gets shots off that he shouldn't. Okay,
he's just insane.
Little salty.
He's so damn good. It pisses me off.
He's super good. He's stupid good. It's just frustrating. But like, if he gets the sniper, it's just like
game
just
over.
Jump off the map or something. Like, you might as well just quit.
Yeah, but I wonder what we are going to do going forward, because I feel like hero shooter is like the most interesting esports to watch. We haven't talked about fighting games yet either. Like, fighting games are insanely popular, like the esports that goes into that. But going back to esport, I'm sorry, I got lost track there. But going back to like hero shooters and stuff like that, I don't think that there's a better esports quality game, like in game type in general, that like could take that stage, because you get teams of 5 or teams of 6, teams of 20. Who cares? Okay. But you're 2 dedicated teams, you have roles, and you like, it's just like actual sports, believe it or not. Oh my God, we just said it. But it's almost like football, where you got 11 players in the field, everyone has a goal, everyone has a job, do your job, win the game. And like, that's what people like watching. But anyway, going off of that. So I guess one reason I really like Overwatch League is it's the central league. There probably is. There's probably like the AFL of Overwatch somewhere else, but it's not the NFL, which is Overwatch League. So I guess what I'm saying is, why isn't there like one central like esports? And I know people are probably fighting for it as we speak, and maybe in 10 or 15 years this gets figured out. But why don't we have like the MLB of esports? Why don't we have the NHL of esports? Why don't we have the NFL of esports, for lack of a better term? But
because with real sports, okay.
Oh, real sports. You're going to piss some people off with that, by the way. You're going to piss some people off by that.
I'm not saying esports. I mean like real sports as in like physically active sports, okay?
You think esports is a real sport? Oh, man.
It depends on your definition of sports.
something competitive.
But
well, you're right. You're right. Hello.
I would say, in my opinion, I would consider esports an actual sport because, you need the time dedication, you need to practice, and it's not like it's easy per se. I mean, It still takes depending on the game, like League, a lot of strategy. Call of Duty, you need to practice a lot and really just get that second nature in. Right. Like that muscle memory. But
so here's the definition of sport, by the way. An activity involving physical exertion and skill in which an individual or team competes against another or others for entertainment. So we have 90% of that definition in esports, but we don't have physical exertion. I think there's some physical aspect. It's just more mental, honestly, though.
Yes. I mean, I would consider it a sport, but like when I say real sport, I mean like a physical, like football, basketball, right?
Yeah, you're tearing your body up. Really.
So you're not going to put like in football, right? You're not going to put a 100-pound kid against a 250-pound lineman, right?
Yeah.
So he's limited, so he can't play football. But it doesn't matter if you're that 100-pound kid or 250-pound lineman. You guys can go head to head in a video game.
I agree.
Like you can't put a 5'2", or in my case, like a 5'5" height person against like 6'2" and up, like basketball players.
Or in other words, a 6'5", 100-pound soaking wet podcast host can't play football is really what my parents would like you to know. Just throwing that out there. I know. Snap like a twig. Crazy.
Yeah. You're labrum.
Really killed the... Oh, man. Let's not talk about that. Let's not talk about that. Man, my shoulder still hurts.
I'm sorry.
It's all right. You know what I find weird, though? How is the NFL not under massive rains of shit fire for just destroying people's minds? Have you not paid attention to that lately?
Concussions
with CTE and stuff like that? Are you kidding me right now?
I mean, getting hit in the head. I mean, it goes back to like boxing and even wrestling and football. Like any physical contact sport is hard on the body. That's why people can only do it in their prime.
But football in general, it's like you're putting helmets on, you're hitting somebody as hard as you fucking can and just wrecking them.
I mean, if you have a 250-pound dude sprinting as fast as he can, and let's say he can, his sprint is, what would you say?
I don't know, like a 7-second 40. Is that what it is? 40-yard dash?
Sure.
7 seconds.
So you have him sprinting at you, and you're doing the exact same thing, and your heads collide.
Oh, man.
Your body might stop, but your brain, back and forth, nonstop, probably for a few minutes. I mean, your brain, while you don't feel the pain, I mean, it's still taking so much damage, and it's just like one of those things that's overlooked. Because if you're the lifeline of the team, like they need you as a blocker or something, like it doesn't matter if your head hurts. It doesn't matter, if you need a break or something, you're still going to be out there. They're going to put winning the game over your own health, and vice versa. You want to win that game for your team. Yeah. So it's just like, oh no, coach, I don't have a concussion. I'm fine. Like I can play next game, no problem. When in reality, the person probably has a grade 2 concussion and needs a couple months or weeks to heal.
Go sit down, Billy. You can't see straight. Like that's where we're at. I guess one of my issues with the NFL is I guess the research isn't. Well, one, when the research comes out, it's like, oh, don't worry about it. Who cares? Get back in there. And then the other one is, why isn't more money going towards something that's potentially killing people? Because I think this is people's lives we're dealing with. And this is the issue I have with the NFL right now. Did you ever see that Will Smith movie where they did the
concussion? Was just about to say something.
Did you see it?
I've seen bits and clips. I haven't seen the whole thing.
Yeah, that's the one I want to sit down and watch. But what the hell? Why isn't more research going towards this? And I guess you and I obviously aren't the most educated. We didn't play football, but we've been bystanders. We've been watching from a distance. I mean, you and I are pretty big on football in general, just watching. But what the hell, man? Are people dying because of this sport? Do we know? I could totally be talking around my ass right now, which I'm fine with. But at least I'm asking the fucking question because who else is? And that's my issue with it. Why are we asking more questions?
Because it's one of those things,
it's fun to watch.
The more questions you ask, I mean, do you really want to take football away?
No, it's not even.
Because think about it, football in general, you could say owns a day of the week, right?
Yeah, it's Sunday.
So it's one of those things, the more people to ask the question, is this safe? Should we let it continue? Then you're kind of taking away from that corporation, because that's what football is.
Money.
It's about money. So it's just like, the less people that ask, the more money they make.
Yeah.
The more people that ask, the faster they shut them up. So it's just like one of those things like, oh, new research, we'll put that under the mat real quick, and we never saw it.
Man, I mean, obviously we can look at it differently because we are so far removed from it, but it's just my kids will never fucking play football, okay? That it's never going to happen. Mm-hmm. My parents never let me play football. And one of the big reasons is because the injury factor. One thing that I can remember my parents just telling me about when, football games were huge in high school. Mm-hmm. I just remember sitting on the sideline, or not the sideline, the student section.
Bleachers.
Yeah, in the bleachers. And I just remember seeing a guy come out. He's like, he's holding his shoulder. I'm like, okay, what's going on with this guy? His shoulder popped out of socket. And they're sitting over there trying to get this guy's shoulder popped back in, and it won't go back into the socket. And he's trying to go back out there. And I think that's where I was so high on football at that time. And then it started going downhill. And I'm just sitting here like, are you kidding me right now? Like, and this isn't even getting looked at. Like, that guy's done. Okay, we're not putting that guy back on the field. I'm pretty sure he went back out. And that's one of my biggest issues with football. Not only football. I mean, combat sports are a big issue. I think there's an issue with baseball. I don't think it's as bad at baseball. Soccer is huge, by the way. Are you kidding me? There are a lot of injuries in soccer. I think women's soccer is leading in the most injuries caused because, first of all, women fuck each other up on the field, man. It's crazy. Have you been to a women's soccer game lately?
They don't flop like no man. Males.
They are hard.
Like you poke a male soccer player. My arm.
Oh, man.
Oh, what? I get a penalty kick? Okay, I'm fine.
Did you see that Neymar clip of the World Cup? You really saw all the flops on display at the World Cup, man. They were trying to get those calls like it was nobody's business. But, man, girls are some hard motherfuckers when it comes to soccer. I mean, they kick the shit out of each other. That's like $10 in swears right there. But man, women kill each other in soccer.
Counting.
Whatever. Man, I don't know. I totally lost track of what I was going there.
I just go to the pizza money.
We just started with pizza money. We just started with esports, ended up in concussions in sports, but
that's how podcasts go. You just get on a topic and then at least another, you just talk and talk and talk.
Yeah, I know. I feel like I got to figure this out after 12 episodes, but anyway. I guess, I don't know. I'm just pissed at the NFL. I don't know why. I've kind of been pissed at sports recently. I don't know why.
Sports in general just need a makeover.
How do you think sports are going to fare in the next 10 years? Like, kids our age. Are kids our age still playing sports?
Okay, so here's the one thing I've noticed as a former high schooler, right? Okay, freshman year, you look at the seniors. Huge, right? Mm-hmm. But then you get older and, I can't tell if it's we're just getting bigger and we perceive things as smaller or if the actual high school, I remember senior year, right? The incoming freshmen.
Right.
Some of them still look like they should be in elementary, maybe even middle school, in my opinion. We had some very small freshmen.
I don't get where you're going with this.
Well, I'm just saying, football, you want big guys, right?
Oh, you mean okay, now I get what you're saying. I was just
big picture, Parker, big picture. I
had to double check what show I was on for a minute there. I'm like, wait a minute.
Big picture for a second. So you get I feel like you don't get those giants that will be the good football players.
Will mess each other up.
Yeah, you don't get because so many everyone's unique. Everyone comes different shapes and sizes, right? Mm-hmm. So it's just one of those things sports is very football. You got to be a certain general notion, certain height, certain weight if you want to be decent. Okay. Soccer usually you want to be fair, a decent height.
You gotta be fast, and I guess the biggest thing in soccer.
And usually you're pretty lean.
You gotta be smart too.
Yes,
that's a big one.
In powerlifting, it caters to different sizes, but usually bigger people.
Bigger guys. Hefty boys. They do all the steroids.
Well, not all, but.
Do all of them.
It depends on the league.
Whatever's in the box, give them to me.
But it's just one of those things, with sports in general, it's becoming too specific of if you want to be good, you have to look like this. You have to be this height, be this weight, which is very difficult now. Because it's just because at the same time okay, you could go in freshman sophomore year, play and you're in still high school, right? You're still growing, and then you get injured, right? You fracture your growth plate. now you're not going to grow. Now you can't play in the sport.
You're done.
And you could be the best player on the team. You could be like already prospected for college teams or something. But, you know, once you get injured, you're done.
Yeah. Going back to the NFL, that's one of my biggest issues are all these guys that go to college. I think the NCAA is a corrupt organization. I'm sorry. Like, again, could be talking out of my ass, but that's what I'm here for. How horrible is it that people have to go to school for 2 years instead of becoming millionaires in football? It's one of the most physically demanding sports, and the NCAA is making millions off these people. Are you kidding me right now? Like, and these kids are getting nothing. It's like, well, should kids be paid to get an education? It's like, first of all, these kids aren't getting an education. Like, are we going to pretend these guys are getting a great education?
We'll be here all night.
Oh my God. Are we going to pretend like these kids are getting a good education with their 12-hour-a-day job that's paying for their education? I mean, come on. I mean, I would really like to get Tommy's perspective on this when he comes back from school. But
because he's on the
he's
team,
he's
right?
playing pro sports. No, he's in college sports. But I love talking to college athletes. It's just like I just like to ask them, like, well, seriously, how much like school do you get done? They go, none. Because I mean, what do you expect? And that's kind of what my issue is. I don't know how we went off on this sports rant, but
you have anger issues?
Man, I got hella anger issues. I'll tell you what. You bring up the wrong topics. Oh, anyway. All right, you want to wrap it up?
Sure.
All right. You got anything going on? Anything you got to pimp? Anything that you like to talk about? Anything that's going on with you?
Other than come 2019, I'll be starting my powerlifting journey.
Oh my God, you're gonna be an athlete.
Follow me on Instagram, Gonzalo.Sundrla. That's GONZALO.SUNDRLA.
Attaboy.
Hopefully, once I find a good competition in league, I can get this guy out here, film it. Hopefully I do good.
I do film. I come with cameras and I come ready to play. All right. That again, you're still the most professional at doing the plugs of everybody I know.
You know,
you just get it. You just really get it.
It's just an act.
Just an act. All right. At 129 Entertainment on Facebook and Instagram. At 129 on at 129 Entertain on Twitter, because Twitter is a bunch of hashtag bitches. We're gonna get them to max out their cap limit just a little bit more, because 129 Entertainment and Wesley Motorsports are suffering on Twitter. Wesley Motorsports doesn't even have a Twitter because it doesn't have the cap space. So there you go. Wesley Motorsports is kind of popular, by the way. And again, if you have ideas or you want to hear us talk about something on the show, go to 129ent.com/podcast. Send us a message. And hey, by the way, if you want to see something that gets talked about in Wesley Christmas special, you should let us know. Just saying, because that's going to get filmed here soon once I get back from Florida. Florida next week, baby.
I want a postcard.
I'll send them. At 129 Parker on Twitter. Also, and if you're watching this on YouTube, hey, go ahead and subscribe. Hit the notification bell, because we got a lot of videos coming out soon. I mean, if you really like the clips, you're going to like the clips, by the way. You should go ahead and subscribe.
The more you subscribe, the more he can put out.
That's true. Wow, you're right. I'm such a whore for the subscriptions. It's not even funny. I will put everything out for the subscriptions, man. What do you want to see? All right. So, I don't know. Anything else? I can't really think of anything else, man. Just go see Creed 2, honestly. Like,
phenomenal movie.
And stop watching the NFL. God damn it. All right, Sundrla, thanks for coming on.
Thanks for having me.
And we will see you next week.